chambers, I guess we'll call it. And with me is Matt Payne from the Clayton Tribune. He is sitting in for Michael Leonard, who is a publisher not able to be here due to him feeling under the weather. We are doing a debate today between the incumbent, Debbie Chisholm, and the challenger, Virginia Stewart, who are running for the Clayton City Council Post 3. Good afternoon, ladies. Please make sure you speak into your microphones or they will not be able to hear you, and that's part of the thing we want to do here. You can pull that a little bit forward. What we're going to do is you guys are going to get 2 minutes each to introduce yourselves and tell folks why they should vote for you. Questions will alternate between the two candidates. Both Matt Payne and I will ask questions. You will have 2 minutes to answer. The other candidate will have 1 minute to rebut, and then there will be 30 seconds if you need to answer back. We're going to take a break at about 4:15 to 4:20 for commercials on the radio. You will not hear those in this room. We'll take a break at about 4:30 for local news on Real Country, and then again at about 4:50. And then at the end, you'll each have 3 minutes to do a closing remarks on why folks should vote for you. Are you ladies ready?
Ready.
Debbie, we're going to start with you as the incumbent to tell us why folks should vote for you on the early voting or on Tuesday, December 1st.
I'm Debbie Chisholm. I've been on the council for 8 years now. Years ago, about 20 years ago when we bought our house, we started to refurbish it. And the best cabinet maker in the county, I think, Danny Gillespie, was our cabinet maker. He was also the mayor of the city of Clayton at the time. He encouraged me to get involved, he encouraged me to come to meetings, and I did. And then he encouraged me to run for office. At the time, I wasn't sure exactly what I had in front of me, but I had been coming to meetings. I had also attended the Water and Sewer Authority meetings, because that it's always been a big issue here. It's always been a very, very big issue. And so I did. I got involved. When I came on board, we were $600,000 in the red, our water and sewer fund. Since that time, and I will take responsibility for turning this around, along with Sissy and Moody and a few other members of our staff. We totally turned that around, and we are now on the plus side. We've been able to put away a couple $100,000 so far, and it's going to continue like that. It's taken a lot of work, and it's taken a lot of resolve, and you had to really get into the meat of the thing to see what's happening. We changed engineers, which was a big part of it, and we've changed our way of thinking. I know what we're doing. I know the money. I know where it's going. I know what our plans are in the future. I know that for the first time ever, we have enough money to do a hydrological study, and therefore, I can see where things are going to get better, and that we can afford to do it without raising rates, without doing anything, just keeping our nose to the grindstone and getting it done.
15 seconds.
Therefore, keep me on, and we'll do that. I'd like to see this through.
Thank you, Debbie. Virginia? Put it back in the microphone holder. Well, a little bit closer.
Okay, now that I have everybody's attention.
Scott's giving you the go-ahead.
I'm Virginia Stewart, Virginia Stewart. I appreciate all you guys being here today and all the listeners on the radio. I'm a lifelong resident here in Clayton, and seems like the older I get, the more interested I get in politics and the use of our money and our tax dollars. I have a lot of friends and relatives out in the county that are getting more interested as well. I believe that the water consolidation is the biggest issue that we have. I believe I have the personality and the confidence and the skill to go to some of these meetings and have a new face, a friendly face that will try to discuss some of these issues before we have to go into litigation and mediation. appreciate you guys vote. I'm glad to be here.
Thank you, Virginia. You know, when we tested it out earlier today, we do not have those issues. We are plugged into the city system, and hopefully we'll get that working. The first question we're going to go ahead and give to you, Virginia, and then Debbie will have a chance as well to answer it. And that question is, how does the recommendation of Mayor John Bradshaw affect the council, and would you consider running for mayor in the future?
The first part of that question, how does it affect the council? I think they have a good plan with Gordon becoming the mayor pro tem. I think if John was too busy, that it was a good idea for him to go ahead and resign. I think that maybe it was an inopportune time for Debbie and I, because it's happened during this runoff election, so maybe it's gonna take some of the attention off us. I think that for his, just person, that maybe it wasn't the best thing.
Would you ever consider running for mayor?
No, thank you, I would not be interested in running for mayor. I have a full-time job that I really enjoy, and I do think that it takes more time than maybe the public might think to be the mayor, and I don't want to give up my job for full-time employee.
Thank you, Virginia. Debbie?
Just repeat that question at the beginning of it, please.
How does the resignation of Mayor John Bradshaw affect the council?
We're sad to see him go. We're sad. I'm still holding out hope that he might change his mind. I have our charter here, and we all discussed this today, that if the mayor pro tem takes over just in case of absence, the council will have to vote on who will be the next mayor. And the mayor and council will then have to appoint a council member, because it'll be the council member short. And would I ever think about being mayor? I have never thought about that.
Thank you, Debbie. We'll give a question over to Matt Payne with the Clayton Tribune.
Hi, Virginia. This one will be geared towards you. As a member of City Council, you'll be expected to represent the city from time to time in negotiations with other local governments and authorities. Can you describe your experience in the negotiation process, and if you do have any experience, please describe your specific negotiating style?
Okay. I do have some negotiating experience because I'm on many boards at my job, many committees, and many boards at my job, where there's a lot of negotiation between different departments. I'm a registered nurse in a hospital, clinical coordinator, so I have many different negotiation processes with other department managers, and for 10 years, for the last 10 years.
Can you please describe your specific negotiating style?
My negotiating style, I think, would be just try to lay everything out on the table and discuss it calmly and try to listen to everyone's opinion and just try to have pick the best idea for everyone.
Debbie, same question to you.
My background is in sales, so I've negotiated all of my life. I'm also married. That's major negotiation. But as far as the city goes, even though it seems to be everyone's opinion that there's always bickering and everything, you've been in meetings. A lot of you here have been in meetings. There's no bickering. We all have differences of opinion. I think that if you have a background, taking all the courses and the classes and everything, it makes it easier to negotiate because you understand the laws and what parts can and can't be done. You can't just make up things. It makes it easier. I have over 60 hours of training in this, plus other courses that I've taken. Because when I threw myself into this, I needed to know something about what I was doing. As far as negotiating, there is not, among the council, we have no problem negotiating. As far as negotiating with anybody else, that has been very rare that we've ever had a chance to negotiate with any other government or anybody else. It's very rare. Never happened.
Thank you, Debbie. Oh, you gonna go ahead, Virginia?
I would just like everyone to know that I would be able to do those training hours as well. I would participate in those training hours as well.
It helps.
Thank you, Virginia. We're gonna go ahead and take the commercial break for the radio station, and then when we get back, hopefully we'll have these sound issues worked out. This is Adam Wright Live on Real Country 100.3 WGHC. 100.3 WGHC, and we are doing the debate between incumbent Debbie Chisholm and challenger Virginia Stewart Little. Virginia Little Stewart. Literal Stewart. I'll get that. And I think we got the sound issues worked out, so that is good, and we're gonna give the next question to Matt Payne with the Clayton Tribune.
Thanks, Adam. All right, so this one we're gonna go back to Virginia again. Can't hear you, man. All right, so Clayton is arguably the heart of Reagan County and its primary economic player. What is your vision of the future of the city, and how would you go about facilitating that? What is your vision for the future of the city, and how would you go about facilitating that?
My vision for the city is to be able to work better with other entities in the city, as well as more programs to make Clayton pretty. More tourism, more things, I don't know, more things to just get people here and stay the night, stay the weekend, better than in these hotels on the highway. Just nicer things.
Thank you. Debbie, same question. What is your vision for the future of the city of Clayton, and how would you go about facilitating that?
In an economic development class, we learned that people move to a place because of the downtown. That in fact happened in my own family. My husband said, we're moving to Clayton, they have to keep downtown. I personally, and I try to express to all the council how important our downtown is. Without a downtown, we're just a day trip. Anybody coming up here would just go, they'd hike, they'd do whatever, they'd ride the rapids, and then they would leave. We have to provide something to keep people here. And then once they come here, they eat, they stay, then they want to buy a house here. And that helps everybody. We have more people move in, we have more retail, we have more restaurants, and we grow. And when we grow, it brings prosperity to everybody. That's my future.
Thank you.
Debbie, I'm gonna start with you on this question. And we're gonna kind of keep it on the line of tourism. In the past, the city of Clayton would give a portion of their hotel, motel, accommodation taxes collected to the Clayton Merchants and Business Association, which is comprised of local merchants. This past year, money was instead given to the Downtown Development Association, which is a council members appointed by the city council. How is that beneficial for the merchants of the city of Clayton?
At that time, and I had some real discussion about this, and I talked to everybody on the CNDA, because I think the CNDA has been doing a great job. Because they're the people who own the businesses, and they're the people who know best what could best serve them. When the DDA came back up, and we had people interested in being on the DDA, I asked everybody, how will this affect the CNBA? Because I thought the CNBA was doing a super job. I love First Fridays. I love having the band out there. I think it's great for the whole county and for tourism. They all agreed at that time that they were going to work together. So I said, okay. I was one of the ones that said, okay. And hopefully they're working together, and it has not affected the CNBA, but I'm not so sure.
Virginia, same question.
Okay. I don't know really the answer to that. I don't have any expertise in that. I would have to research that information and contact a person from each group and talk to them, and I would then make a decision on that, because I don't have that information.
Thank you. Matt?
All right, this question regards the service delivery strategy. Debbie, this is you first. Right now, no government body in Reagan County is being qualified by the Department of Community Affairs because Clayton and the county cannot come to an agreement over a water service delivery strategy. Given that the situation affects all Reagan residents, what responsibility do you feel you would have for residents of Clayton, not just as citizens of the city, but as residents of the county?
delivery strategy, in case anybody's wondering, it's a map and it shows who has service in an area. The governments, some governments have their own water, some governments have their own sewer, some governments have water and sewer for other governments. In any event, whoever provides that service, it shows it in a map so that people don't start squabbling. Different governments do not start squabbling over, those are my customers, that's my customer. And is this making sense? And therefore, right now, the city of Clayton has been the only water provider for years and years and years in the main part of our county. Sky Valley does theirs, Tallulah does theirs. Otherwise, the city of Clayton has provided 100% of the water to all the customers. Until recently, when we sold customers to the authority at the north end of town. We have gotten loans based on, they're called revenue bonds. We've gotten the loans and the way they're going to be paid back is based on the revenue that we bring in from those customers. The county has now said to us, we want some of your customers. And we are shocked and amazed that that's happening. The strategy, the delivery service strategy left it where it was no man's land. We've had those customers for 20 years. We have loans based on that revenue, and therefore, we feel it's ours.
Thank you, Debbie. It's Virginia. You can ask the same question. Would you like me to repeat it? Right now, no government in Raven County is deemed qualified by the Department of Community Affairs because Clayton County cannot agree on a water service delivery strategy. Given that the situation affects all Raven residents, what responsibility do you feel when you would have the residents of Clayton, not just as residents of the city, but as county residents?
I feel like I would have a responsibility to, again, just bring all these people to the table, in which I think that, now maybe the county is just, as you guys all read in the Tribune, maybe they're frustrated now and want to go into, some sort of litigation as well, but I don't think that it's good for the, county taxpayers as well, but not being, not being qualified is taking grants from all the citizens in Raven County, not just the city residents.
Can I say anything? I'm not sure exactly how it's been reported that there was going to be lawsuits and everything, but that was said in a private meeting, and therefore, none of us really know what was said, and I honestly don't see how there could be any grounds for that, since they've been our customers for over 20 years.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to start with Virginia on this. Now, other than the usual answers politicians give, I love my city. Why are you running for the city council?
I probably said this 1,000 times already, because I care about besides I love the city, I care about the citizens, I care about the wealthy citizens, the middle class citizens, and the poor citizens that can hardly pay their taxes, and I don't want their water bill to be increased more just to keep up the system.
Thank you. Debbie?
It's no secret that I was not really planning to do this again. But we're at a crossroads right now with our city. This could be a kill moment, because right now we have got everything under control. The city's got everything under control as far as our finances, as far as our plans for the future to fix our system, as far as running a really good tight budget. Our customers that we sold to the North Loop, I talked with one today, he lives on Sharon Drive. He has 5 or 6 other people who live next to him. His bills have tripled. So that is what I fear might happen to our city. If we don't retain some sort of control, because we can show anybody, and trust me, everybody can go anywhere, to the county, to the city, anywhere, and you're allowed to have all these members anytime you want them. With the amount of debt that would be incurred if everything was put together, the people in our city would suffer, and people, and our other water customers would suffer, and there's just no way I'm gonna let that happen.
Thank you, Debbie. It is about 4:30. We're going to take a break for news on Real Country 100.3 WGAC. We'll be back at the City of Clayton City Hall in just a moment. The Clayton City Hall, radio station along with Matt Payne, with the Clayton Tribune, and we're doing our debate with incumbent Debbie Chisholm and challenger Virginia Stewart. Early voting started today, and election day is December 1st. And we are going to go with this next question first to Virginia. What are your thoughts on downtown Clayton? Are there any ideas you have when it comes to upgrading the downtown area, such as landscaping, improving sidewalks, etc.?
I don't know if you guys saw some of the decorations in Sky Valley this time, at Halloween this time, but I really enjoyed those decorations. Less sometimes means more, and I feel like we could just have 3 or 4 decorations and spend a little bit more money there instead of having so many smaller ones on each one.
Thank you, Virginia. Debbie?
As far as that goes, the city isn't totally involved in that. The merchants are involved in that too. So we try to work with them on what they feel is apropos. We would love to do sidewalks. The problem there is that's some of our oldest infrastructure. So we're trying to work our grants and our loans into changing all that water and sewer and then putting brand new sidewalks on top, because it would make no sense to put sidewalks on top when we know we have to go in there and get that infrastructure out. That is the future. Those are our plans. And the rest of it, I think, is pretty.
I'm going to do a follow-up, and we'll start with you, Debbie, and then go with Virginia. Tourism is a huge part of the economy, not only in Clayton, but in Raven County. Other than the money that the city gives now to the DDA, that used to go to the CMDA, what are things the city can do to encourage the tourism industry in our community?
Providing a beautiful downtown, having a beautiful place to rest. We encourage restaurants to come in. We go by, we talk with them, we make sure everything's okay. Is it clean enough? Is it safe enough? Do we have enough parking? We do things like that. There's just not a whole lot of money left to actually put into marketing. So we help, and we support the Chamber of Commerce, which we hope and pray is doing marketing. But we don't have the funds.
Thank you, Debbie. Virginia? Well, this one came off the cuff based on other stuff, but looking at tourism, an important part of not just Clayton, but Raven County, other than the money that the City Council gives to the DDA, what else can the City of Clayton do when it comes to tourism in our community?
I'm actually in agreement with Debbie on that. I think that most things look good for the tourists. I don't know. My friend and I just went to the Stokola Park during this little break earlier, and it is very nice. And I encourage everyone to go up there and look around and see that place. Like I say, we just came from there, and it's very nice. And I don't know that many of the local people use that area or maybe even know about it. So that may be one thing.
Thank you, Virginia. Matt?
All right, we're going to go back to the hot button issue. We're going to talk about water and sewer a little bit more. So, Debbie, as the incumbent, can you please describe to me your ideal resolution to the issue of water and sewer in the county?
As I said before, Clayton had it all. We didn't have all the sewer, but we had all the water. Years ago, when they had a drought, it was in the 80s, we started having droughts. We used to get all our water from Black Creek, which is in Mountain City. Everything was gravity fed, things were good. It started to, we had drought, it became a problem. We were worried there wasn't going to be enough water. So the authority, the Water Sewer Authority was convened, and they came up with a plan to get us more water. Their plan was to get the water from Lake Burton. It would be gravity fed down to us, everything would have been great. Georgia Power would not support that because there was no way that they could charge us for water coming out of Lake Burton. But they could charge us for water coming out of Lake Raven. So the plans were all changed just like that. They changed it to Lake Raven, and instead of worrying about the gravity feed and everything else, they just decided to put some high-powered pumps and just pump it up here. The minute, and I've got numbers here and graphs for anybody who wants to see it. We went from 30 million gallons to 50 million gallons the day they turned that on. That means whatever leaks were there just started leaking, and then it got worse as the constant pressure just kept blowing them out. What would have been the perfect scenario is for them to come in and take care of that problem to start with, but nobody ever has. And we have now gotten to a point where we will. But that is something we've had to endure the whole time. So the perfect scenario will be that we will fix what should have been fixed when it first started.
All right, thank you, Debbie. Virginia, can you please describe to me how, in your mind, the ideal resolution to the issue of water and sewer services between Clayton and the county will resolve?
I hope that both entities will come together and make the deal that has been put forth by the Water Authority. The water and sewer system in Clayton is not worth $40 million. I don't know that the whole county water system is worth $40 million. So I think that the consolidation is the best thing for the citizens in Clayton and for Raven County to save their tax dollars and their water bills not their own.
I have a rebuttal to that. There is no agreement. We've never seen an agreement. No one I know has ever seen any kind of consolidation plan, consolidation agreement, nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Consolidation would have to mean that if you look up the definition, there would have to be something to consolidate. The city of Clayton has most of it. It would be wildly crazy for us to even think about doing that without seeing a plan, without being paid. And even though our system, you may think it's not worth 40 million, in order to replace it, it would be it would be over 100 million to replace it. So that's the best case estimate for the age and the way it is.
Thank you, Debbie. We're gonna, you got something, Virginia?
I would encourage anybody that has a subscription to the town crier to contact me. I'll be glad to show you a copy of a letter from Commissioner Arbiner where he entails the plan and the funding for water consolidation.
Can I have a rebuttal to that, please? Because I did write to Steve Arbiter on that, and Steve has said that he would like to meet, although I've asked him to, and we haven't. He said that there was a consolidation plan. He is mistaking that for the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan is a plan that we have to do every 10 years. The Department of Community Affairs requires that we do that every 10 years. That's a comprehensive plan. That's where it says where we want the county to generally go. Nothing about consolidation.
I can't speak for Mr. Arbiter, he's not here. The letter says consolidation plan, and he gives the information on where to look up in that courthouse.
If Catherine would let me, I would love to put that out there,
Right.
where I named everything.
Thank you. It's now about 18 minutes before 5 o'clock. We're going to take our last break at the radio station. This is Adam Wright broadcasting live on Real Country 100.3 WGAC. We'll be back in a moment. 3 WGAC with Matt Kane with the Clayton Tribune, and we are about to wrap up our debate between incumbent Debbie Chisholm and challenger Virginia Stewart. We appreciate folks coming out today and folks listening on the radio station and watching the stream that the Tribune is doing today. This will be the last question that I ask, and then Matt Payne will have one last question before we give each candidate a chance to make closing remarks. And I'll start with Debbie on this one. The City of Clayton Council meetings for years were held in the evenings. I remember coming and doing a presentation in front of the council that went late into the evening. Now, those meetings are now held in the early afternoon. What do you say to residents of the city that can't attend the meetings due to work schedules?
Starting in December, our mayor heard your plea, and he has changed the meetings starting at 5 o'clock on Wednesdays. And as a matter of fact, it was going to start in January, and he decided to make it December. So starting next month, it'll be at 5.
Virginia.
That's just an answer question. That's the answer.
Let me ask this. Wednesday's church night for a lot of families. Your meeting today went awfully long, and 5 o'clock is closing time for a lot of local businesses. Is there any talk or chance of moving later in the evening, or maybe a day of the week that isn't when a lot of families attend Wednesday night services? And we'll let Debbie go with that, because we started with you, and then let Virginia comment.
I honestly feel it would be best if we didn't do it on church night. Any other night would be fine, but I definitely agree that doing it later, we get a bigger audience. Having all of you here is so wonderful. You'd be surprised how much it matters when people actually get involved and people have to actually answer to somebody face to face. It's a big deal. We'd love to see you.
Virginia?
I agree that having it on another day is better as well, besides church night. And later is a good idea as well, because people like myself live out of town. We have 45-minute drive, so it would be better to have it late.
I think you can work on it.
Yeah, I'm in work out of town, sorry. I'm tired. And it is good to see all you guys here. Second time I've seen this room almost full, so that's a good thing.
Thank you, Virginia. Matt?
All right. So we're going to follow up with you again, Virginia. Okay. So in the next few months, the city is going to be beginning its annual budgeting process. And what departments do you feel like the city could invest more funds, and in what areas do you feel like we could cut the budget a little bit?
I think, as we've talked about all day, probably the water needs to be funded more and be able to cut some funds, maybe in the general fund, and I'm not an expert on that. I would have to look at it more, but I see some things just for myself that I think maybe could be cut and put them in a different direction.
All right, thank you. Debbie?
Okay. The water and sewer fund is completely separate with our general fund. It's called an enterprise fund because it's a business into itself, and it's absolutely completely separate from the rest of our money. As far as cutting, I was the one who voted for no tax increase. I honestly feel that there are places where we can cut spending, and cutting spending was not even mentioned except by me. So I apologize that your taxes were raised, but I honestly feel that it didn't need to happen, and there are places where we could cut and it wouldn't hurt anybody.
All right, we'll do one more question before we do the closing remarks, just looking at the time that we have. And Debbie, we will start with you. What do you say to people who live in the city of Clayton, who are registered voters, who are eligible to vote on this special election, but did not vote a few weeks ago? How do we encourage more people to get out and vote between now and December 1st?
I think more than ever that it really, really matters this time. They could come talk to the city council, they could call me, they could call my number's in the phone book. Anybody could call me. If you know me, you know I could talk about this forever. So I would look forward to talking to people about it. We're at a crossroads here, and it could get to be where it could be so expensive to live here, just with water alone. We have people, I don't think everybody understands that the community partnership pays $6,000 to $7,000 a year in people's water bills. That's like $20 $2 water bills that people can't afford. It's difficult for a lot of people here. To me, that's important. That's very important. And it should be important to everybody. So if you didn't get out and vote this time, come on down. The weather's nice.
Thank you, Debbie. Virginia? What can you say to encourage people who did not vote a few weeks ago in the general election to come out and vote between now and December 1st, just given how important the issues in the city of Clayton are?
I really encourage the younger people my age and younger to get out and vote. I noticed that there were very few of those guys. Be more interested in your city and in your county government, and just get out and vote. As well, my phone number's in the book, so you guys can ask me any questions that you want as well.
Thank you, Virginia. And now we'll do closing remarks. Debbie, you have 3 minutes to tell folks why they should vote for you.
Because I have everybody's best interest in mind. I have my own best interest in mind because I live here. I want to stay here. I want to continue to live here. I want to die here. So I'm worried about it just as much as other people are. One thing I did not cover, and I knew I had left something out, when it comes to the service delivery strategy, this is a really, really big deal. You can't have, it shouldn't be that another government could come in and start taking away your customers that you have based revenue bonds on. It's $2.75 million that we were just given in loans so that we could get somewhere with the system. And we have the county government coming to us and trying to take away our customers. I don't even know that could be legal, but we haven't faced that yet. Our mayor had a meeting with county government. In that meeting, they decided to just leave everything where it was, leave our customers where they are, everything would be fine. They shook hands, they walked out of the meeting. 2 days later, our mayor was called into another meeting where everything had changed. After that, our mayor announced his resignation. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that this is, I don't understand why it would have to be this way. I don't understand why they're doing this to us. But I'll continue to fight it if you leave me in here.
Thank you, Debbie. Virginia, you have 3 minutes.
I'm exhausted. I'm very tired. I'm still willing to work for you guys. I've endured a lot this week. Some magnets got stolen off my car. Some signs got stolen. I hope that Ms. Chisholm has more class than that. I believe just by looking at her that she does. And I keep getting these stares and ugly looks from the front row, and that's all fine. And I'm still going to keep fighting as well. I'm not going anywhere. Some of the city employees are handing out buttons on the job for Ms. Chisholm, and that is not fair. But I'll keep fighting as well. And I would hope that you guys would push the mayor and the media to follow up on some of that stuff. And I just appreciate you guys coming.
Thank you, Virginia. Thank you, Debbie. This is Adam Wright for Matt Payne, and we are live at the Clayton City Hall for the debate for Council Post 3 between Debbie Chisholm and Virginia Stewart. And we appreciate everybody listening today, watching on the stream from the Clayton Tribune, and being here in person. And I'm Adam Wright once again for Matt Payne. Have a great afternoon.